NBA Today.
He addressed the media for the first time. Take a listen. He had some interesting comments on how things went down in Boston.
What bothered you about how this all transpired?
The whole process. But to be honest, my mind is so focused on what's in front of me. To be honest, I'm moving on. You know, maybe one day you share the details of kind of how everything transpired and all the moving parts that took place in this. Obviously, it's a lot of speculation. I feel no need to chime in on it because I'm focused on what's in front of me.
Jaylen, how would you characterize your relationship with Jason over the last year, Jason Tatum? And is that a partnership you both wanted to continue before the trade?
You know, we won a championship together. So anybody that you win a championship, you would think like that's what, you know, a brotherhood or a lifelong legacy would entail. Obviously, there's ups and downs in any type of relationship for sure, but on my end, it's nothing but respect. You know, besides when he plays the Sixers, you know, I hope he does well. You know, but other than that, you know, everything for me is just based in respect.
Have you guys been able to talk?
Not really.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Vanessa Richardson in for Malika Andrews. We've got Kendrick Perkins. We've got Anthony Slater and Key McClure. Perk, let's start with you. We've had so many questions about how all of this ended with the Celtics. What's your reaction to hearing Jaylen Brown say he has yet to speak to Jason Tatum?
Duh. No, like, is anybody shocked? Anybody shocked? Like, everyone knew that they wasn't the best of friends, that they didn't hang out outside the basketball lines, but to say that they hadn't communicated in no form since he's been traded, a guy that you won the championship, that was, you know, one of the better duos in the NBA, is kind of is really alarming. And it started to, you know, more questions and that I want to know, like, as far as what was the real relationship with Jaylen Brown and the entire Celtic organization? Because Jason Tatum didn't come in the middle and say, hey, let's stop this. And matter of fact, Jason Tatum basically says it's time to move on. So, again, you hate to see a relationship end this way, especially two guys that wasn't even knocking at the door of their prime, accomplished a goal of winning the championship in one of the hardest cities to do so. But the fact that Jaylen Brown feels some type of way, and I know he do, is scary for the rest of the league, because I guarantee you this young man has a chip on his shoulder.
100%. But to me, this was a business relationship. And when you are a pro, that's just how things are. You handle your business on the floor. Off the floor, it doesn't matter if you have a relationship or not. Handle your business. The only thing that matters is, can you get it done when you were in between those lines? And they did that. So business is business. Forget the personal side of things. And I get it. It's respect, mutual respect from both of those guys. And I can't wait till they play against each other. I can't wait till that Boston-Philly matchup. I mean, the tension that is going to be around that game, that is going to be must-see TV. But it's respect there, mutual respect. Forget the relationship, the personal side of it. Business is business. They handled their business when they were in Boston together.
Y'all remember the Durant-Westbrook first game against each other? I was in the building. That was the cupcake night.
Perk remembers.
Oh, yeah, Perk remembers that. You know, I've been around a lot of star partnerships, and it was always emphasized to me, you know, the Thunder days, I'm talking about all the Warriors, teammates, that you guys don't have to be best friends. They have different interests, different personalities. Some guys have kids and wives, some guys don't. But generally, there is a level of respect and business, as you're talking about. But I am a little shocked that they haven't talked, because, you know, I can give examples of when Klay Thompson left, Klay is notoriously difficult to reach in the offseason, but when he was going through the business, he called Steph Curry. They had a conversation of, should Steph go to management or not? Should Steph push for him? Now, Klay ultimately said, don't. I want management to want me back. But Steph had that conversation. When Kevin Durant left for Brooklyn, Steph Curry flew back early from Asia to sit down with Kevin Durant and kind of have that final conversation. So I would think they would just have a lot to talk through as guys who've been together for so long. But according to Jaylen Brown, they haven't talked, and that does kind of surprise me.
Yeah, no, I agree. We all know that there were plenty of questions about whose team it truly was in Boston. Today, Jaylen Brown was asked, whose team will it be in Philly?
Whose team is it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't have to be anybody's team. It just needs to be based in respect and work. And that's kind of like my approach. I want to earn everybody respect and trust, which take time. You know what I mean? Obviously, It's a lot of guys with talent, it's egos, but to win, you got to be able to sacrifice. You got to be able to, have trust and communication. So I want to come in transparent. I want to come in with my agenda on the table. Look, this is what I'm here to do. This is what I want to do. I want to win, and we kind of can figure out how to, respectfully move around each other. But it takes a level of time to develop and earn respect from each other. But my approach has always been my work ethic. So like being the first to the gym, being in the film room, I'm looking forward to learning from LeBron. I'm looking forward to learning from all those guys. But even LeBron, just everything that he's endured during his career on and off the floor. Like one of my favorite things to do is learn. I can't wait to just soak up as much information as I can and apply it to myself.
Okay, so Jaylen seems to be malleable, still moldable at age 29, wants to learn from LeBron James. Perk, what do you think about his comments?
I mean, he laid it out. I thought that was perfect. In my opinion, he couldn't have said it no better when it comes to earning the trust in the locker room, right? And you do that by not what you say, but your actions. And we know that Jaylen Brown is one of the hardest working guys in the NBA. We know that he has a high IQ. We know that he's an intelligent human being. But the one thing that the one word that stood out to me is the word that always stands out when you're trying to win the championship, and that's the word sacrifice. Like if you're trying to reach a bigger goal, you got to find a way to lose yourself in the team. Now you're going to reach smaller goals individually, trying to accomplish the bigger goal of winning the championship. But from all the conversations, from listening to Jaylen Brown talk, it's only one goal and one agenda that's going on in Philadelphia right now, and that's the great sign leading and heading up into training camp in a few months.
King, Jaylen said it could be anybody's team on a night-to-night basis. Is there a player you think is going to benefit the most from him being in Philly, adding Brown, adding LeBron? You got a bunch of young guys, right? You've got VJ, you've got Maxey. Who benefits the most?
I think it's VJ. Because I think when you look at Tyrese Maxey, he's going to do what Tyrese Maxey does. You look at Jaylen Brown, he's going to do what he does best. Same thing with Embiid. He's going to be able to be a down low, dominant post threat. But VJ's game is predicated off of cuts, off of catch and shoot threes, and off of being able to thrive in transition. When you play with a guy like LeBron, let's take a look at this right here, right? Look at what LeBron can do. He sets his teammates up in ways that's almost better than anybody that we've seen in basketball history. So when you look at a guy like VJ Edgecombe, who excels in these categories, if we roll the film, I will show you exactly where LeBron will set him up for success. Take a look at this right here. Out on the break, VJ Edgecombe is the first one out. And when we talk about athleticism, oh my goodness. Meet him at the rim because my man can fly. This is going to be a highlight reel season for VJ, but it's not just in transition. Look at what he can do right here. Off the ball screen, right? He's being guarded by a 5. Well, he sets the ball screen. He can space to the three-point line. This is easy. You just walk into it, catch and shoot Trey. You better guard it because his jump shot's gotten a lot better. But right here, he's playing with PG. Imagine LeBron right there. Imagine how much attention LeBron is going to get. So now when VJ cuts to the rim, we talk about finishing through contact. He is one of the best. I mean, that right there, those three facets of his game, they're going to go to a different level. And you're going to look up and say, VJ Edgecombe had an even better sophomore season than his freshman.
Sacrifice is a word that Perk used earlier, and they're hanging out. And I think the vibes are obviously very good, but it's a lot easier to say all of this in August than in January when you've lost 3 in a row. And that's just the one thing. I want to see this team go through some adversity. What are the shot attempts for this guy on this night, and what are the motivation levels and all that? And, we'll see. But again, it's August, and it is not January. Right?
Yeah, it's so true. All right, coming up on NBA Perk likes that. All right, coming up on NBA Today, we have up-to-minute updates on what's going on in Denver, how it will affect the Joker. Shams joins us next. Out in the Western Conference, let's hit a little coast to coast, shall we? Starting with the Phoenix Suns. Shams Charania, you broke some news out of Phoenix yesterday. What do you got?
Vanessa, Dylan the Villain has agreed to a 3-year, $73 million contract extension with the Suns. This is through 2029-2030, fully guaranteed deal, and this keeps Dillon Brooks in Phoenix long-term. He stays out of free agency in 2027. And when you think back to that Kevin Durant trade last summer, Dillon Brooks elevated this team from a bottom 5 defensive squad to a top 10 defensive team. And so now the Suns will continue to build around Dillon Brooks as part of their culture.
Dillon the villain. All right, elsewhere in the West, really west, Wemby brought his teammates to Paris for some off-season workouts, and the team made time to swing by the Louvre. King, if you could only see one in person, would it be watching Wemby courtside or checking out the Mona Lisa?
You know, Vanessa, art really doesn't impress me.
It doesn't do it for you?
It doesn't do it for me. So I'm going to obviously say I want to go watch Wemby courtside over saying Mona Lisa. Don't come for me, but art just does not get it done for me.
All right, let's go to the team knocked out by the Spurs. OKC, Chet Holmgren has been hitting the weight room. Slater, are the Thunder expecting a bounce back after a disastrous Western Conference Finals, particularly from Chet?
Yes is one word. Also, I would say, I sat down with Chet Holmgren before an early season game last year in Sacramento, and he was talking about the exhaustion of the previous offseason. They had just won the title, which is always a long run. And remember, he was coming off that hip injury. He had to work himself back. He said he was taking Advil just to basically drag himself on the court late that season. I only say that because this offseason, he's not coming off an injury. They did not go all the way to the finals in mid-June, and I expect a lot of motivation considering how those West Finals went.
And how about a new player heading west? LaMelo Ball is on his way to Minnesota. Welcome to my crib. Look at this video of his former Charlotte penthouse that just went viral. Perk, is MTV Cribs, if they were still around, would LaMelo's episode be one that you would watch?
All of them, but let me say this. I'm about to go apply pressure on my household because I've been begging for years just to get a damn fish tank, let alone everything that's going on up in there.
Oh my gosh, let's end with Shams with more news, this time out of Denver.
Vanessa, the Nuggets made a late offseason pickup here. Lonnie Walker signing a minimum deal with the Nuggets. He's going to enter his 8th NBA season after playing in the EuroLeague last year. And you think about a team with rising tax bills, getting Lonnie Walker as well as EuroLeague Defensive Player of the Year, Alpha Diallo, that will help shore up their back end of their bench, especially after losing Tim Hardaway Jr. And the biggest question for the Nuggets right now surrounds restricted free agent Peyton Watson. This is still an outstanding issue that the Nuggets have right now, and I'm told they are in active trade talks with multiple teams on a Peyton Watson sign and trade. That includes Cleveland, Milwaukee, and the Clippers. There are combinations of player packages, pick packages as well. So either they're going to trade him, or you could potentially have him back on a one-year, $6.5 million qualifying offer.
Yeah, fascinating. A lot of decisions there to make in Denver. Perk, the Nuggets didn't make it out of the first round last year. On paper, it doesn't feel like they've done very much to add around Nikola Jokic. Are you starting to get concerned about Jokic, the Nuggets, and where they could stand in the Western Conference?
Hell yeah, I am. I thought they should have moved on from Jamal Murray this offseason, but I get it. They said this might be a hard contract to move or whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, you're trying to please Jokic. You need to not waste his prime and surround him with the talent to be able to succeed. Peyton Watson was drafted by the Denver Nuggets, I believe. Peyton Watson developed and was one of the biggest surprises last year when we saw this young man get his opportunity. And we all know the most important position in the NBA to try to win the championship is the wing position. You gotta have big wings. We saw that from OG Anunoby. We know the Thunder are still loaded with guards and big wings, and so is the San Antonio Spurs. So if you're trying to level up and match them, you gotta do everything in your power to make sure you at least attempt to try to keep Peyton Watson and attempt to please Jokic and surround him with the necessary pieces.
We saw more flashes last year from Peyton Watson. What did you like about his game, Perk?
Well, I just like because he played with a level of confidence, and the one thing offensively that you have to be able to do is to be able to knock down the tray ball, especially the corner three, consistently and move without the ball. And so he finally seemed like he bought into the system of being able to play in that offense. On top of that, he has the athleticism that he brings to the table to make up defensively of what Jokic and Murray are both lacking when it comes to their athletic ability and being able to defend. And so although the Nuggets still have Aaron Gordon, you can't replace a dog and a pit bull and a guy like Peyton Watson that's going to bring it every single night on both ends of the floor.
Totally agree, Perk. Thank you. And we will thank you, Shams. Appreciate you hanging out and bringing us the latest breaking news. All right, coming up, we have a star-studded matchup tonight between Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and the Fever taking on the reigning champion Aces. What message can Asia send tonight to the league? We discuss with our favorite coach, Coach Peck, next.
It's golden opportunity.
Yeah. Washington, it's time to wake up. It's winning time.
All of a sudden, you're going to upgrade your whole team like that.
With Trae Young, AJ the Bouncer, and Anthony Davis leading the way.
They on the squad.
He's on the squad, bro.
All Trae Young needs is somebody that's dangerous on the back.
How many games played for you? 82.
He's going to show the world why he's still one of the best two-way players in the game.
Well, Anthony Davis is officially extension eligible for a 4-year, $275 million extension starting today. AD still has 2 years left on his contract and is set to earn $58.4 million this year and $62.8 million next season. For more on AD's potential max extension, of course, we got to bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what more can you tell us about the situation with AD and potentially getting the max for the big man?
Vanessa, sources tell me that the Wizards and Anthony Davis have mutually decided to table potential contract extension talks and revisit it and wait until they're into the regular season for that and see where the team is at. And one source described it to me as essentially an ability for both sides to allow the first 20 games or so to, quote, marinate and allow both sides to get to a decision on whether there will be a contract extension or not. Anthony Davis is eligible for a deal, 4 years, up to $275 million, but there are unanswered questions for both sides. Anthony Davis, for him, there's the unknown of how the team looks this year, how competitive the Wizards will be, their playing style, and also the future direction of the Wizards. And for the Wizards, there are questions about Anthony Davis's health, how he performs, and their ability to take the next step and make that jump. This is a Wizards team that hopes to make a step into contention in the Eastern Conference. And so once they move past the unknowns, that'll give both sides the ability to decide whether this relationship will go toward an extension or potentially something else.
They are letting things marinate, Shams. I like that term. I like that word. Thanks so much for giving us the latest on AD and the Washington Wizards. All right, on paper, this Wizards team looks ready to compete in the East. And that, of course, is in large part thanks to their #1 overall pick, AJ DiBonsa, who we loved watching at Summer League. So we got to bring in our guy, King McClure. You were at Summer League. Now you're out here at the big board, King. What did AJ show you during those 2 Summer League games that he played in Las Vegas? I know a lot of people were talking about him.
Well, it's no secret that he didn't shoot the 3 well, but the word that I use when I talk about AJ is versatility. And I think that was on full display, and I think that's a big reason why he can contribute and make this Wizards team a potential payoff contender. Let's take a look at this right here, all right? Off of the drive, he didn't shoot the ball well, but what can he do? He can get through to the rim. He can finish through traffic. It doesn't matter. The athleticism right there. And right here, in the open floor, he passes my man open. Look at the vision. He always has his head up, and I think that's one of the most underrated facets of his game is his passing. And then right here, defensively at 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, he switches on to who is that right there? Who is this? This right here, Darius Acuff. We know how dynamic he is, but AJ can sit down, get the block, get out in transition, and do it on the defensive side and convert to easy points on the offensive end. That right there, that versatility, Vanessa, is where AJ will excel, and I think he is going to be terrific for this Washington Wizards team.
How important can that versatility be his rookie year, where in Washington the expectations are high?
It's going to be huge because when you're playing with guys like Trae Young, Anthony Davis, I mean, those are the 1 and 2 options. And you also have a guy like Trey Johnson, right? He can let it fly too.
Yep.
So you have so many offensive weapons that you need a guy like AJ DiBonsa that can be a Swiss Army knife and do a little bit of everything.
Love it. All right, speaking of the Wizards, our friend Big Perk has a big proclamation that he made last week when he did his ranking of teams in the Eastern Conference. Here's what Perk said.
Previously on NBA Today.
Vinny, this is your first time.
Get ready,
I don't want
man.
no stuff out of you. You're gonna bring the energy that's needed. Otherwise, you will not be invited back. But I'm gonna crank it off. Coming in at number 5. Bam! Put it up there, damn it.
Whoa.
The Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards. Come on, Vinny.
You gotta say bam.
Are you high, Perk?
All you gotta do is say bam, Vinny.
Bam! Number 4. Are you high?
Vinny. Say bam. There you go.
Perk, you're wearing the same jacket. Let's start with that. I mean, do we need to get you like a fashion consultant or?
Sheesh.
Well, I doubled down on the outfit. Okay, I doubled down on the outfit, so I'm going to double down on my take with the Wizards. They're going to make the playoffs.
5?
And guess what? I have even more confidence now that Anthony Davis is going to wait and he's going to audition and bet on himself. That's going to be scary. And I'm glad King gave us that beautiful breakdown and showed us what A.J. DeBasca could do defensively. Because when you think about their front court depth, Sarr, Anthony Davis, the bouncer, the size, the athleticism, the will to want to play defense is going to be scary. I believe that this team has the pieces. They're well coached. They're very well coached. They have a mixture of youngins and veterans, and they got a lot of guys that's going to have chips on. They got chips on their shoulder that want to prove something. DeAndre Ayton, like, you think he's not tired of being bounced around? He's going to have his moments in an 82-game season. Trae Young just got a huge contract extension. You don't think he's hearing all of this that people are doing and talking about he didn't deserve the money? He's going to come back ready for war. So I just can't wait. I love these moments because everybody in my comments been calling me everything but a child of God.
I hear it.
Slater, it's not often a team with the number 1 pick has playoff hopes. They have to develop A.J. They have to, but they also want a deep playoff run. So what should the Wizards' goal be immediately this season?
Look, I hear a lot of now motivations from Perks declaring playoffs. Anthony Davis needs to play well to get this extension. He wants, Trae Young justifying the extension. They have the number 1 overall pick, and I think prioritizing his development should be number 1. A little like the Kings conversation we had yesterday, where everything's really about Acuff. Sure, Sabonis matters, Levine, all that. I see that here, where I do think there's a lot of motivations for a lot of people, job security-wise. But generally, like what A.J. DeBasca looks like in 2029, 2030, that needs to be the priority.
I don't necessarily think they have to make the playoffs, but I do think, like Perk is saying, that it's in the conversation. I think they have enough pieces around to be able to make a playoff run and to be able to get there. So I think that you're right, prioritizing AJ and allowing him to be able to get better. And I think that his game elevates because now AJ has, everywhere he's been, he's always been the number 1 option. But now when you're playing with Trae Young, you're playing with Anthony Davis, now you have a guy like him who is as dynamic as he is, scoring the ball, facilitating. Now he becomes the 3rd option. AJ is going to go to a different level. So I do think his development will be on display.
I worry about them making him the 4th, 5th option at times, 6th option. You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's possible.
DeAndre Ayton's going to be out of there. You think he wants some shots?
I'm taking it. AJ has to go over him.
Perk,
listen, let me remind you.
Go ahead, Perk,
Let me remind y'all, in a deep draft full of talent, A.J. DeBasca emphasized time and time again that he wanted to be the number 1 pick, that he deserved to be the number 1 pick over Darian Peterson, Darius Acuff, and the rest of the top 10. So with that being said, you know how you separate yourself? You separate yourself by going in there and putting your fingerprints on the league right now. You separate yourself and going in year 1 with the talent and the vets that you have around you and saying, I'm about to bring chocolate back to Chocolate City, and you bring some life back to the Wizards and go make the postseason. So make no mistake about it. I know AJ is young, but on his mind, 9 times out of 10, he's thinking playoffs this year as well.
So give me something quick, Perk. What should the goal be for the Wizards this season?